Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the comparison between the older version of the by embroidery machine and the newer version of the mirror by embroidery machine. So I've had my new machine for about a month and a half ish now. So I've gotten a little bit more used to it, gotten to play with it a little bit, and embroider lots of things with it. And I have actually been using both machines. Primarily if I have like one or two things to do, I will just use the newer version machine because it is just so much easier. It just runs smoother and all of that, and plus it's new, so who wouldn't want to use the newer version of something? So primarily I've been using that, but I did have a few memory bearers here. There's a whole bunch of them. So I did have a few memory bears, and just four, yeah, four memory bears that I had going. So if you watched my video on making the memory bears, you will see that there are a lot of steps to the memory bears. There's a lot of like literally standing over your machine and putting new pieces of fabric in. So they are very labor intensive. So I did actually end up using both machines to do that, and it sped up the process what's the word I'm looking for? Drastically. It really did. It sped up the process. I got all four bears made. I mean, it still took me probably 3 solid days, but again, because I am a stay-at-home mom, my work hours aren't like as long as some of y'all probably can put in. I work from like it depends on how motivated I am in the morning. My husband goes to work at 9, so I try to start my day at 9 as well. So when he leaves, the house is mine. I'm by myself, and that's when I like to try to go to work. So from like 9 to 2 is really all the time that I have, and then I do a few things when the kids are home from school if I can, but they hate that and I hate that because I hate to take away from them, so I try not to do that. However, this is their last week of school. They don't even have full days, so we are about to embark in our summer, and summer is always a challenge for me to balance work and being a stay-at-home mom. So we're gonna see how that goes. Maybe I'll share some videos with y'all on the struggle of being a stay-at-home mom and working, trying to work a full-time embroidery business. Because that's really what my business has blown into. I don't even have an Etsy shop. I don't have a website. I just have a Facebook page and word of mouth. And I am busy, busy, busy. My customers keep me very busy. So with that, I just wanted to share some of the updates on the new machine versus the old machine. So I do have a printout of some of the things that officially from Buy that they've told me that they've upgraded on the new machine, because there's obvious things, and we can talk about those obvious things, and I'll pull you in closer and I'll show you some of the things. But let me just read to y'all some of the things that they have upgraded on the new mirror machine. So easier installation. Now, I personally put together, my husband and I put together both of these stands and put the machines on, but there was about a 3.5-year gap between them, and I can't remember it being difficult, either one, really. I didn't find the older version difficult. They're saying they've reduced the amount of screws by 40%. Guys, that's almost half the amount of screws to put this machine together. I'm assuming they're talking about the stand than the old machine. So yes, that's a big difference. That's going to make it easier, obviously. But one of the things that I personally noticed is there's better instructions on how to put it together. With the other machine, I would have to go and watch videos, either other people putting it together or from Buy, and try to figure it out. I think they came with some videos on the flash drive the thumb drive that they gave you with the machine. So that was kind of like their user manual. They like had some videos on that, I believe. but they didn't have like a manual like they do now. So, but also there's like a sticker. I don't know, you probably can't see it. There's a sticker on the bottom of one of the pieces of the machine, and it has like pictures and instructions on how to put the stand together. So that was an improvement. If I had, I mean, I didn't really necessarily feel like I needed it because I have experience, but if I didn't have any experience and I was walking into it for the first time and I just got this crate and opened it up and was like, what do I do with all of these pieces? That is absolutely fabulous. So that I find is an improvement. And that wasn't like a big, that's not like a big deal, right? It's just like they printed out a nice little sticker with instructions and put it on the bottom. But it's a big deal because it just makes installation that much easier. Then the other thing is lower maintenance. Okay, guys, I'm gonna admit I am horrible at oiling my machine, my old machine. I'm horrible at maintenance. I know you're supposed to do it there's parts of it you're supposed to do every week. There's parts of it you're supposed to do every month. The grease, like the thick grease, yeah, guys, I've never done it. And I know that's so bad of me. And I know I probably need to get some because I'm still using my old machine, obviously. But that machine grease, like the machine oil I use on the needles and all of that, but that grease, yeah, I've never used it. But they're saying that with the new machine, they have reduced a lot of that. So that uses oil impregnated power bearings, eliminating the need to lubricate the shuttle. Again, I would have to watch videos myself on how to do it properly on my old machine because I'm so bad, guys. So, but this is great because it just gives me peace of mind that, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about I'm doing something wrong and I'm going to mess up my machine because they've reduced the need for that. So that's great. Wool felt oil locking material to prevent oil leakage. I'm gonna admit when I first got my machine, it did come oiled. I didn't oil it, and it was probably a little bit more heavily oiled than I usually oil because I like hardly oil my machine. But I did notice that there was some oil getting on some of my stuff, but it wasn't like, it's not like a heavy grease or anything. It's something that honestly kind of just dries. I'm gonna admit I did notice a little bit of that. I'm not sure. But that does like, so run some like practice stuff through your machine when you first get it. Just run some just random stuff that you're not for clients or anything. And then that'll just get rid of all that extra. I think it's, they just kind of like heavily do it in the beginning. But when you're doing it yourself, it doesn't do that because you're not putting like a ton of excess oil. So anyways, I'm going to try to blow through these kind of quick because I don't want to make this too lengthy for y'all. So all parts except for the rotary hook only need to be oiled once a month. So that's great. I mean, there was parts on this, I believe, like the bobbin area you're supposed to do every single day. Guys, I don't, I'm so bad. I don't do it. But I do try to do this area and the needles regularly and then like all the little spots that say oil on it. But this one, I really, because I've only had it like a month, I haven't really oiled it yet. I'm seeing the same little holes, so I'm assuming it's going to be similar, but it's reduced the amount of time that you're going to have to oil it. So easier maintenance, that's amazing. Easier operation, and this is like a big obvious one. Obviously, they've upgraded their system, they've upgraded their computer. It makes it so much more user friendly, and I can attest to that. Like this one I'm pretty quick with. I can do my little thing because I'm just so used to it after using it for so long. This one does take me a little bit more time, but that's just because it is set up slightly different than the older version. So I'm just trying to have to like retrain my brain on where to push buttons and what does what. But they have made it a lot more user-friendly if you don't have any experience. Things just like make more sense. I don't know how to describe it, and I wish I could really truly describe it to you without pulling you in and actually doing a side-by-side comparison, which I will try to do today a little bit in this video. It's a little bit harder to explain. So it's saying that it's like it's divided into 3 areas. You've got your embroidery status, your pattern review, and your function operations. And I do see that here. And then of course when you hit the embroidery button, some of the, so 1, 2, and 3, and now I see what they're saying. So you've got your pattern, your input, and I haven't done the Wi-Fi yet. I know it's got the Wi-Fi ability, but again, it's so hard to teach an old dog new tricks because I'm just used to my USB drive and I just stick it in. And when I'm using both machines, like with the bears, I use the same flash drive for both machines because a flash drive doesn't have to stay in once it's on your machine. So I would like pop it in, put the design in, pull it out, put it over there, pop it in. So I'm still using the thumb drive, but I do know that it's got the Wi-Fi ability, and I'm excited to give that a try. So yeah, so like I can see, I'll pull you in closer and I'll show you guys that, how it's split up into the 3 sections and how the other one is not. I will show you that. Okay, so then, yes, we talked about the Wi-Fi pattern transfer that I haven't tried yet, but I'm excited to try it. Oh, and then the custom embroidery frame editions. So like I've never figured out how to put in different, I'm not even sure that you can put in different hoop sizes in the old machine. I don't think that you can. And I know I was getting a lot of questions in the comments and such on how to add a different hoop size and how to add your mighty hoops, and I had the old machine. I was like, well, I just put it on other and I don't need to do that. I honestly don't even know if you can on the old machine. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but again, it's just one of those things where I'm just so used to doing it the way I do it that I never really felt the need to add a hoop. But I did notice with this one, when you go into size, they do have an add size button. And I did kind of try to play around with it, but I never figured out exactly how to like get it to stay. Like I did the whole trace thing and all of that, but just because I just was playing with my machine, I wasn't really like totally invested in adding the hoop at that point. I was just like, oh, what does this do? You know. But now that I have the new machine, I can, when I learn how to do it, I can show you all how to do it. But that's great because excuse me, I think I need some water. I've already kind of had some accidents when I pulled out my needle, needle 1, and I do my trace, and it's set on other or whatever. I've kind of hit the frame, and then the whole machine is like doing its thing, and I have to do the automatic shut off, and it was like a disaster and totally my fault because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I had a design in it that wasn't in the right area or was too big or whatever, and you run the risk of bending this needle 1 hook thing, whatever it is. I don't know. And I bent it. I've done it on the old machine. I've bent it and I've had to change. I've had to replace it. And then I've also, because they only give you 1 replacement, I've actually taken it off, taken my pliers and re-bent it back and put it back in. So you got to be careful with that. So adding the hoops is probably a very good idea. Okay, so in addition to adding hoop sizes on your new machine, it also supports pattern combination, splitting, and batch production, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what that means is with the new system, you have the ability, and I did it really quick when I read that because I was like, wait a second, I can't remember if you could do it with the old machine or not. So I pulled it up. In settings, it does look like there is an ability to add, let's see. What if I have a smaller design? We'll go with this one. So it looks like there might be an ability to add multiple of like the same. So if like you have a small patch and you wanted to do, or you're doing a keychain and you want to do a bulk design in a big hoop and you wanted to have it go in there multiple times. It does look like there's an ability to do this on this machine, but I personally never figured it out. I never figured it out on the old machine. But to combine designs on the old machine, I don't think that was even ever a thing. I personally, because I use Embrilliance, I'm actually, even on the new machine, probably not going to do it because I can get it more accurate on my computer and print it out and all the things. So, and it could just because it's what I'm used to. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I might use some of these features as I play around with them. But I can pull you in close in a minute and show you. But I actually did go ahead and close, save. What's it doing here? Close. Okay, just kidding. I didn't save it. But I was able to. There's a way to do it. I'm just like, again, I'm still learning, y'all. But if you go into pattern, and then this is one thing I did notice that's different. Okay, sorry, I'm not speaking in full sentences, and I hate it when people do that. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to you and how I best want to say this. But when you pull up on this operating system, which is so much different than this flower you push, and it's just your designs, there's really not much you can do. It to erase multiple, you hit the erase and then you can select. But that's the only way I see to like select a bunch of stuff. On here, you've got your input, your output. You have a text button, which I probably won't, again, putting text in on my machine is not something I'll do. I have tons of fonts on my computer and Brilliant, so that's what I'm going to do. But if you don't and you're just getting started, again, so great for beginners. You have the ability to put in text, so you can type it in. They have a few different fonts that you can use. So that's awesome, especially if you're just starting and maybe you don't have a computer. If you are starting an embroidery business, I strongly suggest get yourself a computer, get yourself a printer. I couldn't do this job without those things. Those are just as important to me as the machine. But if you're just, you just have the machine, you don't have those things, that's fine. That this still is going to give you the ability to put in some text. You can put names on towels, on backpacks, and all the things just using your machine and not even touching a computer. So you've got your text. You've got your multi-select, the delete, a divide pattern, and a combine pattern. Now, not just really quick, the combine allows you to, oh, it did save it. Sorry. I was like, oh, where'd it go? Because it didn't save it on there. But anyways, it gives you the ability to select. So select these three things. You hit save. It's going to pull them all up, squished together. And then you just click on one at a time. And it's going to do it real slow. It's going to allow you to move them around. One piece at a time, whatever. So you move them in the where you want them. And then you save it, and then I just figured out I'm not saving this one. Oops, I don't want to click on it. When you save it, it saves it in your pattern section. Then you would say, so I put together this monogram and this name. I know it might be too far away for you to see, but then you select it in your pattern, save it. Now it's pulled it up in my machine, and I could embroider two designs squished together. Not squished together, but combined. So that's cool. That wasn't on the other one. But this is just everything has purpose. It just looks like it has purpose. It looks like it makes sense. Okay, you're going to pick your pattern first. That's number 1. Then you're going to pick your color. That's number 2. And then 3, you're going to pick your frame, and then you're going to set up where you want it in your frame, and then you're going to be ready to go. So you literally just move from left to right on your screen as you're setting up your design. So that is so much more user-friendly. It just makes sense, all of the things. And then they just have upgrades on things that you don't see, things that you don't use every day, but it's the things that matter. It's the things that make the new machine run smoother, run quieter, run more efficiently. We already talked about the bearings that they changed, but they've changed the pulleys, the belt, the motor, and the bearings. And they gave me specifics on those things, but like, I don't even understand them. You probably wouldn't either. But just know that they've upgraded things inside of the machine, things that make the machine run. And that's why the new version is just going to be so much more efficient. And I know personally from speaking to some of the representatives from Buy that they are putting so much of their effort into making sure that their machines and their products are more accurate, are going to stitch better, they're going to give you better quality. And so that means that some of the products that they originally had with the old machine, you might see some of them begin to phase out, and that's okay. It's because they're putting their focus on making things better. For example, y'all know that I talk about my pocket clamp. Let me grab it real quick. Y'all have heard me talk about my pocket clamp. I love my pocket clamp, and I was extremely disappointed when I guess I just wasn't paying attention in the Facebook groups and stuff when people were talking about that this one doesn't fit on the new machine. Because the first thing I did on my machine was a hat. Y'all saw that. But one of the hats that I had it had a front and a back design. So I blew through all the front of the stuff. It was great. The machine was running perfectly. And then I went to put on my pocket clamp to do the back of the hat, and it didn't fit. And I was so disappointed, so extremely disappointed. But part of that is because one of the efforts that they put in with the new machine is making it more efficient for hats. And hats were the first thing I did. And I did like 5 or 6 different styles of hats. I don't know. I don't know why I did so many hats when I first got my machine at the beginning of the month, because like I didn't think that I did that many hats, but apparently I do a lot of hats. It just, things seem to cycle through my business. I will have periods of time where I'm doing a lot of memory bears. Different clients, they don't talk, at least as far as I know, and they just all happen to bring me in at the same time. Same thing with the hats or the sweatshirts. It's just, well, sweatshirts is obviously seasonal, but it just seems like things rotate like that. But anyways, for whatever reason, got my new machine and I was doing hats. But it gave me an experience to figure out that this didn't work anymore because they changed the hat driver a bit. Ooh. Okay. So they've changed the hat driver. I don't know where my other one is. I don't know where my old one is. I can tell you, this thing is heavy duty. It is, I don't know. It's so, and things are always obviously going to be nice and shiny and smooth when they're new, but it just, yeah, it's just, it's heavier. It's smoother. It feels, you can like feel the quality. But anyways, so they're putting their effort in, or they're putting their focus into making the new machine better for hats. So with that, they obviously tweaked and upgraded their hat driver. So the old hat hoops do not fit on the new hat driver, and the pocket clamp is not going to fit on the new hat driver. The clips just don't line up. And that was disappointing. But they have informed me, so I apologize, because I know, like, you go back and see my videos, I praise that pocket clamp because I had my old machine and I just didn't know. And I praise that baby. I love that pocket clamp. And it did sometimes, even in the old hat driver, if you didn't click it in just right, it had a tendency to come unclipped and mess up, or it would like wiggle in there. I mean, it just, I loved it for what it was and I made it work. But I admit, like, the quality wasn't just top notch, okay? And that is one of the reasons why they're phase this one out, the old one, because it's for the old machine. And that's one of the reasons why they've upgraded the hat driver and the hat hoops, because they really truly, they've heard our cries. They've heard that we're frustrated with hats. They've heard that we have a hard time with hats. So they put a lot of their focus in the new machine and making it better and more efficient for hats. So with that, that's why this doesn't fit on that, but they've informed me that they've already began developing the new pocket clamp. I'm so excited. I can't wait to try it. I can't wait for it to come out. I don't even know what it looks like yet. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know anything about it other than the fact that they are working on one. So I'm excited for that. But with all of that, let me pull you guys in a little bit and show you the screens a little bit and how they're different. And I will wrap this video up for you. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but if you are researching getting the new machine, or you just want to know, you have the old machine, you want to know what's so great about it, what's different, I just wanted to bring you this video. And I know I don't have an extensive knowledge on all the things and every detail, I know how to make the machine work. I know how to embroider on it. So knowing all of the ins and outs of the mechanics of the machine may not be my specialty, but I tried to go over what I could for y'all, and just I'm going to show you guys some of the obvious things that are different between the two. All right, you're gonna have to pardon the camera being a little shaky because I'm gonna hold it, but it's just the best way to go back and forth between the two machines. So here is your new operating system. This is where I've combined the two designs you see. This is where I'm talking about, so it's like it's split into the 3 sections: patterns, colors, frame. So you go in here, and again, I haven't figured out the Wi-Fi transfer yet, but you're gonna go in here. This is gonna pull up, these are all my bare, pattern pieces. But you're gonna, you select, and then you can save. You've got your delete, divide. Here, you know what? I'm done with the bears for now. So we're gonna multi-select, and I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm done with that one too. Delete. Okay. So this is what I have on my machine now. This guy's another bear part. Okay, so this is what I have on my machine now. Here's where I combined the monogram and the name right there. It was super easy to do. You just hit combine first, and then we'll just do these two. And then you hit save. Okay, and then you're gonna be able to select each part. And I don't know why it moves so slowly, but it is. Okay, move it down. Okay, whatever, I'll delete it. Okay, but then this is where I was like, oh, I didn't know where it saved. So you save it, and then it saves it here, and then you select it and save it again, and then it will pull it up in your hoop. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So that's how you would combine a pattern. I'll go back into my patterns. Let's see, whatever else we can say. Divide, delete, multi-select. The text. This is where you would add your text. You've got your enter. And these are probably not the best fonts. I'm going to be, ooh, is that like a, I think it's just a, so you could do like the mama sweatshirts with that. I don't think it's applique though. I think it's just a hollow thing. But yeah, you would be able to, oh, you can stitch improve. Density, height. So you're going to be able to do kind of edit some things in here. But again, if you have a computer, I would personally do it on a computer. I wouldn't personally do it on here, but if you don't, and this is the only thing you have, that's great. Or if you want to add a name real quick to an existing design, that's great. I would definitely play with it first and make sure you know your stitch quality before doing that. So, sorry if my phone started to sag a little bit. I was trying to look. It's harder to look through my phone at what I'm clicking, so that's why. Anyways, I digress. Okay, so that's the new machine. Here would be the older operating system. So you see how like here is where they had it split into 1, 2, 3 sections. They don't have it split here. So you've got your, I've had to go in here a few times, but only with help from the buy. Then I've had to do this a few times, but only with help. I would never go and change any of those settings without working with someone from buy telling me what to do, because like I said, I know how to embroider. I don't know all of the ins and outs of the mechanics of the machine. So that is something you would do with help. At least I would. Anyways, so that's those. You do have, sorry, those are still here. You still have your settings, but then it pulls up and it just looks so much nicer, so much different. Statistics, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's one thing I could never find on the old machine. I know like in other embroidery machines, especially when you're buying one secondhand, especially in the single needle world, definitely in the single needle world, they're always like, well, what's the stitch count on the machine? And I could never find that on the other one, but this has it there, so that's cool. What else? Service, system, user, task, language, time, all of the things. So that's cool. So it does still have settings, but they're, again, still user friendly. Like, I would almost think that I could go in here and try to figure it out myself. And they have a user manual, so you could go to the user manual and figure it out. So that's what's different here. Let's see, what's this one do? I forget. Oh, that's your needle. So also, oops, it's different if you're in embroidery mode or not. So here we've got, you can change your design in here. Okay. And then you can set your design. So this is where I said you might be able to add multiple, like it shows 4 there. It shows, but I just don't understand. I don't understand how to do it. The only thing that I use this area for is to flip my design. See, that's the only thing that I do in that area. Okay, you can change your hoop size. And again, you've got all of your hoop sizes in here, but it doesn't show what they are. Where in this one, if you go into size, this is so much, it just how it's set up is so much nicer. It shows you what they look like. And then you've got the add size button, which again, I still haven't figured out. Over here, you kind of have to like click on them if you don't remember what they are to see what it is. And then it's going to move your machine down there. So I do like how it's more user-friendly on the other machine because it looks different. It shows you what it looks like. So that would be that part. So then, and then you can move your design around fast or slower, whatever. Embroidery mode on. So when you hit your embroidery mode and you're in the green embroidery mode, this is where those other buttons come into play. And then you've got your color select, you've got your add, you can go forward a whole color. Let's see, go again. So like you can skip ahead full colors. And I have had to get in here and use a lot of this, so you can like 500. You can put in exactly how many stitches you want it to go back and forward. So when like I've messed up a design and I've had to take it off the hoop and I've had to pull out some stitches and then put it back on, and then you've got to do all of these things to get it back to where you want it to go. So, you know, I'm in here quite often trying to figure that out. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much it for that one. And then over here, you do have the same thing. You've got your color select. Let's just pick some, I think it's a 2-color design. Then you've got configure color. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to see. Oh, I have to hit ready. Sorry. I was like, why can't I? Okay, so when you hit ready, that does give you a few different options. You've got your speed up, your speed down. I've just kind of had it at 800 because that's just kind of what it came in, and it's been running fine. I did all of the hats at the speed 800, and that was great. So here's your colors. We did that already, sorry. Okay, color plus and minus. So you can go forward a whole color, or backward a whole color. Okay. You can also do it with the stitch like I showed you before, but this one, it automatically has 100 in it. But a lot of times if like, say your bobbin thread runs out, I don't want to go back 100 stitches and restitch 100. I usually go back about 35 to 40 stitches. So you click on the number, then you put in exactly what you want, and then you can go back that many stitches, however many times you want to. Okay, and then you can come in here and just change it to whatever. So that's cool. So again, it's all the same a lot of the same steps, but they just look different and they're just so much better. So this applique button automatically pulls the machine out, and then you can go to your original point, I believe. Again, I haven't played with that too much, and that's going to put it. So when you're doing applique, let's go into color again. You've got the applique button down here, and you put it in the spot that you want it to stop, and then it will automatically pull the thing out so you can kind of work on it, and then it goes back and restitches. A lot of times I end up pulling it off the machine anyways, but sometimes I'm able to do it on the machine. So that's what that is, I believe. It just gives you the ability to pull it out and manually if you stopped your machine and you wanted it to come out. That's what I'm assuming anyways. So anyways, yeah, there's a couple other buttons that I'm just not super familiar with. Okay, really quick, I'm going to splice this into the video here. I did take a closer look at the divide, and I apologize that I didn't do it the first time I was recording this. But if you select your design, we're gonna just go with a simple 2-name design here, and you hit divide. It brings you up here, and you are going to be able to select however many stitches you want to split the design. And it's not just going to split the design, it's actually going to just make it into like a new design. It's going to like kind of, I guess, divide it into 2. But let's say like I had this, and maybe I just had like a little star up here, or a heart, or a flower, and that's all I wanted. Well, then I would kind of try to select just that portion of it, split it, and then I could just disregard. I mean, I'll show you, I'll explain it to you. But so here's the stitch count portion, and you can do it by 1,000 stitches, 100 stitches, 10 stitches. Okay, so right there, actually, you see how it stopped right in between these 2 designs. It's kind of stopped right there. Let's see, I can go back 10 stitches and see it kind of erase that. This button's going to allow you to select which side you want to look at. See, if I look at this side, you see there's still, there's still some stitches there. So I definitely want to kind of stop this in the middle there. See? So then it's going to split this design right here. Okay? So then we're going to save it. Okay, and then this was the design that we split, and it literally has split it into 2. So say that like you tried to select the portion with just like, I'm just, for example, with heart, and say like the heart maybe was on this design, then you could just like disregard that design completely, and then this is the design that you're working with. I mean, again, I would be doing all of this on my computer, so I wouldn't necessarily probably use the divide option, but it is an option, and it's a great option if you don't have a program like Embroidery or Hatch or any of the others. So this is pretty cool. I think, again, like this machine is just so much more user friendly, especially for beginners. So I hope you find this helpful. Okay, here is the new laser, and come on, focus. I haven't even, like, see how it moves around. It has all of these things to tighten and loosen it. And it's up here on this part of the machine. The other one I'll show you is down here. Oh, actually it is up here. Okay, it's up here. There's a lot less, I'm sorry that it's blurry. There's a lot less to move around, and it's just a magnet. I think for a while I had it, that's why you see all of this. Actually, no, that's from the light hitting this. Sometimes the light will be bumping this. Yeah, it's the light, not this. Anyways, I had it down here for a while, but it's so floppy. It's so easily bumped that like it's useless. It was a great idea. What you do is you make sure you point this laser to this hole, and if it's pointed right there, that needle hole, it should be all lined up. Great idea. It just was completely useless on the old machine. So I have gotten so accustomed and so used to not using it at all that, to be completely honest, I've had my machine for a month and I haven't even tried to set it up. I think most people are still not super impressed with it, but I do think this, oh, it is still a magnet. I thought it was more stationary. It is still a magnet, but it's a much heavy more heavy duty magnet, the whole mechanics of it just seem like they're going to be able to give you a more accurate position for it. And then once it's set up, hopefully it doesn't get bumped. That's the problem with these, is that they can be bumped. So if you're putting something big on here, it might bump it off of alignment. So that's kind of the thing that I found with the laser, that it might not be super accurate. The other thing I saw a short on this and I completely forgot. I was like, oh, I was going to try that. Okay. There is a way to set up turn on the light and leave the laser light on while you're positioning it, which was the other thing with the other machine, is it was such a pain because I could never, I don't believe you can leave the laser light on. The only time it came on was when you were doing a trace. So you have to constantly do a trace, and I did not like it. So I just didn't use it. So this one does have a laser, so if that's something that you're interested in, I forgot to mention that when I was comparing the machines. The laser looks better. I don't know how accurate it is. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully it's not too lengthy of a video for y'all, but if you are curious or you want to know what the differences are between the two machines, I hope that this video was helpful for you today, just so that you could kind of see an overview of what's different. The old machine still does a lot of the same functions, a lot of the same features as the new machine, but the new machine is just set up with so much better understanding, so much clearer instructions. It runs smoother. A lot of the mechanics have been upgraded to make it run smoother and more efficient. So they have really put in a lot of hard work into their new machine. And another thing that I just love about Buy is that they listen to their customers. They've listened to the things that we struggled with on the older version, and they've worked so hard to make it better, to improve on it, and to update some things on the new machine. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this company. And I know that there are other great embroidery companies out there. There's other great embroidery machines out there, but you do get what you pay for, and I do believe that some of them they have all the bells and whistles, okay? So, I know that there are other machine companies out there, but they are just so expensive. I personally, for what I do, I'm a stay-at-home mom. This is a small hobby that has turned into a nice second income for our family, and I'm not getting rich on it necessarily, and I know I could absolutely turn this and blow this into a full-time money-making machine, and I know that there are people that have done it. My journey is a little bit different. I'm focusing on my family right now. I'm focusing on being able to stay home and make my own hours and be more flexible for my family. And I don't have an Etsy shop. I know people get Etsy and they are so busy and make so much money. That's great. I haven't gotten into that yet. But so for what I do, for who I am, for my budget, Buy was the best option. And I believe, in my personal opinion, that they keep up with the big competitors, and especially with their new improvements, they are definitely right up there with the big competitors. I just think it's a no-brainer when you look at the price point. Why would you buy anything else, in my opinion? But I'm also very budget friendly, and I love I love my machines. I feel blessed that I was able to find this company and be able to afford these machines. So that's kind of my soapbox on all of that. But they definitely have made some great improvements, and I am excited to just continue on this journey with Buy. It is truly my machine of choice. And what else can I say? I'm going to edit this in a second. So I hope you found this helpful. If you are new to the multi-needle embroidery world, maybe you're like me and you've been working on a single needle and business is kind of booming and picking up, and maybe you're getting some requests for things that you can't do on a single needle, or you can, but it would be a lot easier on a multi-needle, and you're looking, definitely give this machine a good look. Just honestly, I can't, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why you buy anything else at the price point and for what you get. These machines are absolutely fabulous. The people care. The team at Buy cares so much for their customers. They're very about customer appreciation. They want to help you. They listen to you. The only thing is, I know that sometimes it looks like they don't, and sometimes it might look like they aren't, but that's because you have to be considerate of the time zone difference. They don't, they don't live in the same time zone as us. So a lot of times your answers are going to be next day, or you're going to be working later at night or earlier in the morning, depending on where you live in the country or in the world, because it's not just specific to America. I'm just in America, so that's my experience with it. I'm on the East Coast. So for me, and I'm a night owl, I don't go to bed till like 11 o'clock at night. So a lot of times about like 9:30 is like early that I might start hearing from them, but like between 10:30 and 11, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock is when we can message back and forth with each other. So if I'm running into an issue with my machine and I need some help, we run back and forth. Now that is my relaxed time too. My kids are in bed. I don't really want to like get up and start working on my machine, but I have gotten up, gotten on my machine, sent videos back and forth, and we've been able to work out any issues or problems that have come up through video, through chatting, but I have to do it on their time zone, and I'm okay with that because I know that they are helpful, and I've gotten help every single time. Every single problem has been fixed when I work with them, through messaging them, not through going through the Facebook groups. And everybody else's experiences are great, and I try to get on there as much as I can and share what I've learned and try to answer questions in the Facebook groups. But I still encourage you, because your situation might be unique to you. Just, seek the proper help. It's kind of like what I always encourage y'all to do. So anyways, so yes, there is a time zone difference, but their customer service is absolutely top notch, and it just angers me when people don't agree, because I'm like, well, clearly you just don't have patience. So that's my soapbox on that. But so price, amazing. Quality, amazing. Customer service, amazing. I've done hats on them. I've done sweatshirts on them. I've done in the hoop projects. You've seen the bears. So I think that these are great machines. So I hope that you give them a try. And if you've enjoyed my video today and you found it helpful, please, if you're seriously looking at these machines and in the market, I do have an affiliated link with Buy, and it does help me out if you buy through my link. So I just encourage you to do that, and you will get $100 off on your machine. I'm also affiliated with Mighty Hoops, so kind of what I think would be fun or great if I was in the market for it, because Mighty Hoops are fabulous too, and I know I didn't talk about them today. But use your $100 off that you're getting on the machine and put it towards getting probably like the 5.5 by 5.5 Mighty Hoop that's the one you're going to use so much. I know I just did a video using that on some baby products, so check that out. But maybe you get yourself a Mighty Hoop or, something like that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for your support and your love and your comments. I definitely don't take it for granted. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you join the Buy Embroidery team with us. Join our community, and I will see you guys in the next video and in the Facebook groups and all of the things.